today's video, we're going to be taking a project that I started a while ago that I just never got around to finishing, and we're going to give it the finishing touches. So ahead of this video starting, I have already put a layer of decoupage paper on here. I have already painted the sides of this box. I have already glued and painted all of my castings on there. The castings are a combination of IOD molds and Prima molds. The decoupage paper is from Recycled and the paint is MudPaint. So we're going to pick up in the middle of this project, and really what we're going to focus on today is finishing up and giving our castings that are on top of our project some life. They're all just plain black right now, and we are going to take them and give them some dimension and some texture and some sheen, and we're going to add all the little finishing touches to our project to give it a look that we love. All right, thanks for joining us today. So as you can see, I already have my castings glued onto my project here, and I've just glued them down with some Titebond Quick and Thick, and they've actually been on there for a while because I started this project, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and then had to set it aside for a bunch of other silly nonsense. And so now I am trying to get back to it and do a little bit of creative work. I haven't been doing as much creative work in the studio as I would like, but I have been doing a lot of work, which has been, you know, boring but fruitful. And so I, in that time, was able to secure a new classroom space for us that essentially doubles the space that we currently have, and it also provides for a studio space. And so I am in that space today. I am working on this project that I started ages ago. But all I'm doing here is just giving this a little paint wash just over the top of the castings. There's tons of detail in these castings, but they are just all painted plain black right now, and they look just plain black. But I've used the colors Sage and Moss and Stone and Simply White, all from MudPaint in my paint palette there. I've just used a little bit of water and a couple of paint brushes, and I'm just really trying to push that paint into all of the detail on these. I don't really want them to be green and white and gray. I just want to push some color into the castings in all of that great detail, just to highlight all of that. I'm also using a little Q-tip, as you can see here, to kind of clean up around my project. I was not precious about painting this, and I never put perfection on the table when I'm working on a project, because honestly, I have zero idea how it's going to turn out. Like, everything is a crapshoot. But I do my very best, use the skills that I have, and then, you know, very often, as I did at the end of this project, I look at it and I go, well, you know, that's not what I had in mind, but I like it just as much. So I am just using a little bit of paint, a little bit of water, and just giving everything a quick wash here to show all of the beautiful details. Okay, so from here I have given my project some time to dry, and I'm coming back now and I'm adding some glazes. Now, as you can tell, these glazes were, let's just call them garbage. I had been given a few glazes to trial, and I did on this project, and they're no good, so I'm not even going to tell you about them. What I will say is they are not from MudPaint. They're a different paint brand, and I didn't particularly love them. This one that I'm putting on right now is black, and I was hoping that I would add like a layer of grunge on there with this black, wipe it back, you know, like you do with a glaze. And you know, it would just highlight all the top pieces, but it really was more like a blue, and it just didn't really do it for me. So I went ahead and put a light coat across the whole tops of all of the castings, just in case when it dried it did something, you know, like maybe it added some kind of life to it. But I was not in love with the way that it was going on, and was not at this point holding out a ton of hope. So here I'm adding same paint company glazes. This is a copper colored glaze, and honestly it was pink in the container, but I thought, well, I'm gonna give it a run because I love to use copper colored things. Like I like that look in my projects, and so I thought, well, I'm gonna give it a try and see what happens. And again, I wasn't impressed, but it was, I thought, a little better than the black, at least where this product pooled on my project. You could see some copper undertones in that. So I just added as much of it as I thought I could, and then took a hairdryer to it and dried it, and it was much better by the end. Okay, so here I am adding some metallic waxes, and I'm using this metallic wax. This is the silver metallic wax from MudPaint, and it just really gives like a nice little shimmer. So I thought I'm gonna go in the middle of all of these gears and sprockets and just put a little touch of shimmer in the middle of each of these, and then I'll come in with a gold wax, a gilding wax, and a copper gilding wax to really spice it up and give it some more character. It's hard to see with the lighting in this video, but it actually does have like a lot of depth, a lot of layers. There, you can see the colors in there, and it is actually quite beautiful in person. It's hard to capture that in this video, but I tried the best that I could to get some extra layers in there, and then at the end I'll show you as best as I can to try and give you all of the color depth. castings done now. They look great. I love them. There's lots of depth, lots of color, lots of shimmer. So I wanted to finish up the sides of my box. So I am using a little clear wax by MudPaint, and I'm going over the sides of this box. It's currently painted in the color Sand by MudPaint, but I wanted to grunge it up a little to make it match the castings on the front and give it that kind of old vintagey look. So I'm gonna start with a layer of clear wax because that will help me control my dark wax a little better. So now I've got out my dark wax, and I'm gonna use a little rag and apply some dark wax to my project, and it's gonna look real grungy, like real dirty. And I don't want it to be that dirty when I'm done, and that's why I put the clear wax on there first. I can use that clear wax just like an eraser if I get too much on there. But what I'm gonna do is get all 4 sides done. I'm gonna come back and add a little clear wax where I think I need it and take off some of the dark wax where I think it's a little too grungy. Okay, here it is. Here's my final project. I added a little bling from Finnabair and a few little metal beads from Michael's to my project just to give it a little extra flair, but I do love it. I think it turned out beautiful. I'm very happy with it.